Wido.
I'm Miharu Nakano. I'm 27. This is my boyfriend, Soma Kakizono. We've been dating since high school. It was my birthday today, so he was taking me out to dinner. It's been more than 10 years now, so I was hoping he'd propose to me soon. Maybe he's gonna take me out to some nice restaurant or pop the question, but then… Wait, here? He took me to a diner we always ate at. After dinner, he gave me my favorite cookie and a necklace.
Happy birthday, Miharu. I love you so much.
Thanks. I was kinda disappointed. Back in high school, this might have been enough, but I don't know. He's never been a big spender, so… His family wasn't very wealthy. Back in school, he always wore clothes he got from his neighbors. But he was always full of energy and had a lot of friends. That's why I fell for him. He started working right after graduating high school. He said he wanted to save up some money for his little brother so he could go to college someday. It was really sweet of him, and I admired him for it. But then, in college, I met a guy, and most of them were much smarter and had more money than Soma. When I was 20, I told him that we should have gone to college. But then he said,
I'm not that smart, and I don't like to study, so it's fine.
He said with a laugh. Okay, I think that's when I started losing feelings for him. Then I graduated college and got a job. Guys around me were making much more than Soma. They worked hard every day and night to better themselves. They even studied on the weekends. But Soma, all he ever did was play soccer and go fishing with his friends. He was always asking me to go camping with him and stuff, but I didn't really feel like it. Then one day…
Hey, wanna go hiking this weekend?
He said to me, but I had to tell him something. Soma, listen,
Yeah?
This guy at work, he asked me out.
What?
It was our 10-year anniversary. I was hoping he'd propose to me, but looks like that wasn't gonna happen. So I decided to end it with him. I had to move on.
You mean…
I like him too, so I want to break up. I'm sorry. The guy's name was Takahiro Tsuchiya. His father owned his own company.
I'm still gonna work here for a few more years, but I'm gonna take over the family business soon and become the new CEO. So what do you say? I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
I had feelings for Soma, so I told him I needed some time to think about it. But if I marry Soma, I'll probably have to get a job too. But with him, I'll be set for life. It was a no-brainer. Soma couldn't believe it at first, but then…
Fine. If that's what you want, then…
He agreed to break up with me. He didn't even put up a fight. He's not even mad? He's such a wuss. He's a nice guy, but that's about it. The next day, I said yes to Takahiro. He seemed really happy when I told him.
That's wonderful. You won't regret this.
He said with a big smile on his face. Then about a year later, we got married. We both quit our jobs and he took over his family's business as a new CEO.
You don't have to worry about money, Harumi. Just do things around the house for me.
Thanks, babe. Will do. So I became a full-time housewife. After I got married, I cut all ties with my parents. They were never interested in me, and they weren't wealthy, so I didn't want them leeching off of me. I worked really hard to keep the house spotless. I started making friends with my neighbors. We went out for tea, took yoga lessons together, and went out shopping. Growing up, I wasn't very wealthy, so it was like a dream come true. I started going to cooking school to improve my cooking. Takahiro loved it. He said that I was the best wife a guy could have. If I had married Soma, none of this would have been possible. I made the right call. But then, a few years later, something happened. You're all right, Takahiro?
Sorry. Something came up at work.
No, is there anything I could do to help?
No, it's fine. I'll handle it.
He didn't go into details, but his company wasn't doing so well. He was going through some rough times. I gotta do my part and help him out. I worked extra hard around the house to help him, but it wasn't wasn't working. His company still was in a lot of trouble.
Oh, why is everyone leaving me? Damn it.
One day, I heard him yelling in his room. What can I do to help him? If his company needs money, maybe I can borrow some from people I know. But from who? I decided to ask my neighbors for help. But as soon as I brought it up, they all left. I was all alone now. But then, a few days later, when Takahiro came home, he was in a very good mood. You're in a good mood?
Yeah, I think the loan application is going to go through. Once this loan gets approved, we'll be back on our feet. I think everything's going to be alright.
That's wonderful! I was so happy to hear that. That night, we opened a bottle of expensive wine to celebrate. There's not much I can do, but I'll do everything I can to support you.
Thank you, Miharu. I love you.
But then, a week later...
Damn it!
What happened?
The loan, it didn't go through.
What?
You know Fuji, the guy from the bank. His subordinate found some mistakes on the loan application and they rejected us.
Oh no. The guy from the bank said that we had nothing to worry about, but what happened?
His subordinate, his name is Kakazono or something. I'm gonna get him for this.
Kakizono? That night, I couldn't eat. I was freaking out. Kakizono, that's Soma's last name. Could it be? I grabbed my phone and searched for Soma's profile on social media. He works at a bank now. No way. This can't be happening. I sent him a message. I didn't think he would reply, but I got a reply the next day. I asked him if we could meet. Long time no see, Soma. So, you work at a bank now, huh?
Yeah, I got a new job after you broke up with me.
I see. I wanted to talk to you about something. My husband's company applied for a loan the other day and...
Oh, that. Look, I can't disclose information about my clients, but I was just doing my job. It wasn't worth the risk, that's all I can say.
What? But the guy from the bank said that we had nothing to worry about.
Oh, about that.
Then he said something I couldn't believe. That guy, Mr. Fuji, he knew the loan application wouldn't get approved, so he forged some documents to convince his boss.
Long story short, he was breaking the law.
What?
He's been doing this for a while now. Your husband and his father, they were bribing him for years.
Turns out my husband's company was in a lot of trouble financially. The other banks started rejecting their loan applications a few years back, so they started bribing Mr. Fuji.
The company is in a lot of trouble. There's no way they'll be able to pay us back. I had no choice. We're not running a charity here, so...
I get that, but if you don't approve of his loan, his company is going to go out of business.
It was bound to happen. It's a miracle the company lasted this long.
Wait, you did all this to get back at me, didn't you?
No. Like I already told you, I was only doing my job. It wasn't personal.
Liar!
Whatever. If you don't believe me, fine. Look, I gotta go. I got work to do. Goodbye.
He grabbed the tab and left the cafe. Maybe he was right. Maybe he was only doing his job. But that cold look in his eyes, he wasn't like that before. I didn't know what to believe anymore. A few months later, my husband decided to sell the company. He lost everything. Then he started taking it out on me.
Stop doing the laundry. Go get a job. Go make me some money.
Fine, just stop yelling at me.
Oh, get out of here. You're annoying me.
He was able to get a new job, but he was making much less now, and he was always stressed out. I was under a lot of stress myself, so one day I texted Soma blaming him for everything. But then my husband saw me texting him.
Who are you texting? Who is he?
What? No, it's not like that.
Let me see.
Stop!
This goes back years. You've been cheating on me all this time.
No, listen to me! I tried to convince him, but it was no use. A few weeks later, we filed for divorce. I asked my parents if I could live with them, but since I was the one who left them first, they refused. So I found a new live-in job and started working full-time at a factory. Where did it all go wrong? How did I end up here? I was getting old and fat. I was miserable. Maybe I should have stayed with Soma. I checked his socials. Looks like he was happily married now. He looked really happy with her. I should have never broken up with him. But it's too late for that now. I had nothing. I was all alone. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it now.
I'm Hirokazu Morita. I work as a salesman for an ad agency. I really like my job. But back home, I was having trouble with my marriage. That's Kazumi, my wife.
What's the matter, Mr. Morita?
Nothing. She probably got the wrong idea. Whatever. How many times do I have to tell you she's a client of mine?
Yeah, right. Whatever. I don't care, okay?
What's your problem, huh? Things at home weren't going so well. Not sure where it all went wrong, but we were constantly fighting. What happened to us? I met her at work in my first year. My friend Yoshiko invited me to this party, and that's where I met her.
Hello, I'm Kazumi Okamoto. Yoshiko and I used to go to the same middle school.
Hi, I'm Hirokazu Morita. It's really nice to meet you. We hit it off right away. A few weeks later, I asked her out and she said yes. Yoshiko was really happy for both of us. Kazumi lost her mum when she was young, and her father died of cancer a few years back. She didn't have any relatives, so she was all alone. Not anymore. We're gonna start a family together soon. I was thinking about asking her to marry me. Then, on our 1-year anniversary, I took her to this nice restaurant. I was gonna pop the question. I'm so nervous. She said her parents came here all the time when she was little. Her father proposed to her mother here. Then, will you marry me?
How sweet. So that's why you're acting so strange today.
Yeah, so,
Oh, right. Of course I'll marry you.
She said yes. I was so happy. The marriage was off to a great start. We went to all kinds of places together on the weekends. We had lots of great friends too. Life was good. Kids are so full of energy.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah?
you want kids? You ready to be a father?
Oh yeah, I was born ready.
Good to hear. 'Cause the thing is,
Wait, you're pregnant?
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, thank you. I was at the top of my world. But then, this isn't your fault. I'm so sorry for your loss.
I'm so sorry.
Kazumi, when she was 2 months in, she had a miscarriage. After that, she wasn't the same. And around the same time, something came up at work. I was constantly busy, unable to make time for her at home. Talk about bad timing. I'm gonna have to work late again. I better text her. I gotta work late again.
Fine, whatever.
She needs me the most right now. We started fighting more often. I had to take out my client to dinner. I had no choice.
Yeah, right. Whatever. I don't care.
Then around the same time, my friend Yoshiko got pregnant and quit the job. She was always giving me advice about my marriage, so I was kind of sad to see her go. Back home, we weren't even sleeping in the same bed anymore. One night, I tried to cuddle with her, but
Stop. Let go of me.
I'm sorry. Wow, I don't remember her arms being so thin. Then she started going out without me. I ran into her in the city a couple times during work. Is that Kazumi again? I had no idea what she was up to. I wanted to ask, but I was sick and tired of fighting. I got to do something to save my marriage. I knew something had to change, but I didn't know what to do. And now, it was too late.
Hey, you're listening to me? Answer me.
Oh, sorry. I was getting tired. I couldn't take much more of this. Maybe I should just... Hey, listen. Maybe we should end this.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, maybe it's time to start thinking about divorce.
Divorce?
I was afraid she might put up a fight, but to my surprise, she seemed relieved.
Yeah, you're right. It's for the best.
Yeah, thanks for understanding.
Why are you thanking me? I was thinking about it too, you know.
Hey, let's not fight.
Right, sorry. I shouldn't have raised my voice like that.
Hey, want to go to that restaurant? To have dinner one last time?
What restaurant?
The place where I proposed to you.
Oh, right. Sure, I guess.
So I started packing up my things. I let her keep our old place. I decided to move closer to the office. Took me a few days, but I packed everything up and was ready to go. The divorce papers were signed already, so now I just had to hand them in. It's a shame it didn't work out. I really wanted us to be happy. Then a few days later, I was at that restaurant to have dinner with my wife one last time, but then...
She's still not here?
Sorry, I tried calling her, but she's not picking up. She was 30 minutes late already. She didn't even call or text me, and she wasn't picking up her phone. Why is she doing this to me? I waited another hour, but she never showed up. Fine, whatever. Screw this. I paid the cancellation fee and left the restaurant, but then, as I walked out, someone came up to me in the street.
Morita!
What the... Yoshiko? What are you doing here?
Hold on, are you by yourself? Where's Kazumi? I went to her house, but she didn't answer the door.
Oh, I don't know. I wish I knew. Getting divorced and...
I know. She told me everything. Look, I gotta tell you something.
What? She had this look in her face. I knew it wasn't good. Turns out, Kazumi had cervical cancer. She had to take out her uterus, which meant she couldn't have kids anymore. But she knew how much I loved kids. That's why she was trying to end it with me. What? No.
That's why she ditched you today. She said to me, I want him to hate me. That way if something goes wrong and I don't make it, it won't be as hard for him.
Why? What, so she did all this on purpose?
She told me not to tell you, but I couldn't just stand aside and do nothing.
Oh, why didn't she tell me anything? Oh!
You two were fighting a lot when she found out, so don't blame her.
I know, this is all my fault. Look, thanks for telling me. I'm going to keep looking for her.
Alright, I'll help you look for her. I'll call you if I find anything.
Thanks. So we started looking. I went back to my apartment, but there was nobody there. I got in my car and started driving around the city. I had so many memories with her here. I checked everywhere, but she was nowhere to be found. Where did you go, Kazumi? A few hours later, I was back at the apartment. Maybe there was a clue somewhere. I started going through her stuff, then I found this receipt. It was from the hospital I'd never heard of before. I called them right away, but they told me Kazumi wasn't there. I was all out of ideas. It's getting late. I'll try and call her friends tomorrow. Then I remembered something. There was one place I didn't check. That restaurant where we first met. I knew it was a long shot, but I decided to go check it out. But what happened here? The restaurant was gone. They built a different restaurant on top of it. I guess they went out of business. Oh, I'm exhausted. I gotta eat something. I walked into the restaurant, but then... Kazumi?
Hirokazu, how did you...
I finally found her.
So, Yoshiko told you everything, huh?
Yeah.
I told her to keep her mouth shut.
I sat next to her and ordered a drink. Then we started talking.
It was a lot to process. When the doctor recommended that I have my uterus removed, I didn't know what to do. But then, around the same time, you said you wanted a divorce.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. It helped me make up my mind.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. I'm ready to move on. I'm gonna get the surgery. I made up my mind.
Kazumi, give me another chance.
Huh?
I don't want a divorce. I take it all back.
But why? You were just saying that because you feel bad for me.
It's not that. When Yoshiko told me about your illness, I got so scared. I can't imagine my life without you, Kazumi. I looked everywhere for you. I even went to that camping ground we used to go to.
What? Seriously?
Then I realised something. I still love you, Kazumi. I don't want to lose you.
Hirokazu.
When you had your miscarriage, I should have been there for you. It's all my fault. None of this would have happened if I was just there for you. I'm not asking you to forgive me, but just give me a chance.
Look, I hear you, okay? It's fine.
What do you mean?
The plan is ruined. This is all your fault. Well, you better make it up to me.
She said with a big smile on her face. And so we were back together again. A few weeks later, Kazumi got the surgery. It was a big success. It was such a relief. Then, oh Shoko, look, she's all grown up.
Stop crying. This isn't her wedding.
I'm sorry. After the surgery, we decided to adopt a kid. Her name was Shoko. She was growing up so fast. She was graduating from kindergarten today. They grow up so fast.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, I know. Thanks for everything, Kazumi.
Don't thank me just yet. We still got years before she's out of college.
True that. Kazumi still had to go for periodic checkups to make sure her cancer wasn't recurring, but the doctor said things were looking good for her. Thank goodness. Anyway, it was a rough couple of months, but glad everything worked out.
I'm Sakiko. I live with my mom and my grandparents. My dad ran off soon after I was born. Your mother, she should have never trusted him. She's a fool.
Yeah, we're gonna raise you right, so you don't make the same mistakes she did.
That's what my grandparents always told me. I don't remember anything about my father, but I've seen his picture once. He was tall. He looked like a nice person. And Mom, she looked really happy in that picture. Can't remember the last time I saw her smiling like that. These days, she was working most of the time. I barely got to see her.
Should've listened to us. Instead, you ran off with him and got pregnant.
Go out there and work! She's your daughter! My grandparents always said that to my mother. When I was a kid, I always wondered why I didn't have a dad, but whenever I asked,
Her father was a horrible man.
he makes me sick. At one point, I just stopped asking. Then, when I started elementary school, Grandma started making me do housework. Mom said I didn't have to do it, but she was working around the clock, so she couldn't do it. I wanted to do everything I can to help, so I did as I was told. I wasn't very good at it, though. They always yelled at me. Growing up like this didn't help with my self-esteem. And even though Mom was working full-time, her parents took all her money, so I was always wearing the same clothes. The kids at school started making fun of me. They didn't hit me or anything, but I hated school. But I had this friend named Mari. She was always there for me. We grew up in the same neighborhood. Her mom was really nice too. Sometimes she gave me Mari's old clothes. My grandparents cared a lot about appearance, so they weren't that mean to me when she was around.
You're so lucky, Mari. Your mom is so nice, and she's always such a good chef. She started teaching me the other day. Hey, I know. Wanna join us? We're making pancakes today, come on!
So I went over to her house. Her mom was happy to see me. We went into the kitchen and started making pancakes. The pancakes were delicious. I wish I had a home like this. I started crying. Mari's mom saw me, but she pretended like she didn't notice. She offered me seconds and smiled at me, trying to make me feel better. If it wasn't for Mari and her mother, I probably would have quit school. Thanks to them, I was able to graduate a few years later, but things at home were still the same.
You can work now, right? Go get a part-time job!
Yeah, but you gotta give us everything.
When I started high school, I got a part-time job at this nearby convenience store. Mom was sick at the time. She was working way too much, so I wanted to chip in. Then a few years later, I graduated high school. After I started working at this local company, my grandparents still took money from me and made me do housework, but I was kind of getting used to it by now. Then one day, Mari came over to the house. She handed me this envelope and said,
I'm getting married. This is your invitation. If you and your mom can make it, it would mean the world to me.
"Oh, really? Congratulations! Of course we'll be there!" When we were kids, she always came over to the house. My mom knew her well, so she invited us both to the wedding. We had some money saved up, so we rented a nice dress for the wedding. We couldn't wait to see Mari in a wedding dress. But then, on the day of the wedding, something unexpected happened. "This can't be. Don't worry." Then she started crying. Is she crying from joy? Doesn't look like it. Then I looked over at the groom. It was my mother's ex-husband. He was much older now, but he was the same man I saw in that picture. Mari's husband is my father? This can't be happening. I was so shocked. They started going around the tables, lighting the candles. When he saw my mom, he froze up. But this was Mari's big day. We didn't want to make a scene, so we kept quiet. We just sat there in silence and ate the food. Then, on our way home, I asked my mom, "That was Dad, wasn't it? Right? Talk to me!" Ugh. His name was on the invitation. Did you know it was him? I saw the name, but it's a pretty common name, and he's 17 years older than Mari, so I didn't think it was him. Dad, he just ran off one day and left you behind, right? Maybe you should tell Mari about him. It's not like that. Look, I'll tell you everything. So she started telling me what really happened. When she met Dad, she was 19, he was 16. They met at a library and fell in love. When Mom was 20, she got pregnant with me, but her parents flipped out. Get an abortion!
You can't have a child, you're only 20.
They were clearly against the idea, so Mom and Dad, they ran off. A few months later, Mom gave birth to me. They started living together, but Dad was still 17 at the time. He was struggling to put food on the table. Then a few months later, my grandparents tracked them down.
We'll give you money, but leave our daughter alone. Don't ever show your face again.
If you agreed to leave, we'll help them out financially. You got no choice. You're just a kid. You can't take care of a family, they said to my father. After much thought, he decided to leave. He thought it was for the best. Mom didn't want to lose him, but they were barely making ends meet, so she agreed to move back in with her parents. He loved both of us very much. He truly cared about you. He even came over to the house once to check up on us, but then my mom called the cops on him. I didn't want him getting into trouble, so I told him not to come back. But they always said that he was an irresponsible drunk. I thought that's why he left. They told you that? That's not true at all. I'm so sorry, dear. They told me they'd kick us out of the house if I ever told you about your father. It was a lot to process, but I decided to let it go and move on. If I'd tell Mari about this, it would ruin her. I didn't want to ruin that. I decided to keep this a secret. But then 2 weeks later, Mari came over to my house. She said that she had some souvenirs for me from the honeymoon.
Hey, can I come in?
Sure. This is a nice surprise. I was a bit nervous to see her. What the? She was with my father.
Look, he told me everything. I know he's your father.
What?
Look, it's fine. It's a lot to process, but I'm glad he told me. I thought you guys should talk. Your mother, too. This is why I brought him here today. Come on, say everything. You always told me how much you cared about them.
Sakiko. Is it really you?
Yeah, Dad, it's me. Then Mom came home from the grocery store. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. She dropped the carton of eggs all over the floor. It's been more than 20 years, so can't say I blame her. I'm sorry that I never called. I'm glad you're doing okay.
Same here. Poor things. Is there anything I can do to help?
No worries, I work now. And Mom's feeling much better too, so...
But
Oh, actually, there is one thing you can do for me.
what is it?
Make Mari the happiest girl in the world, okay? She's my best friend, so I didn't really need anything from him, but... There's something you should know about. Mom, she told him about her parents. I don't care what happens to me, but they're going after Sakiko now. I can't take it anymore.
I hear you. This is all my fault. I'll handle it.
Dad decided to stay and wait for my grandparents to come home. Then about an hour later, they came home. You again! What the hell do you want? She yelled at her.
When you told me to leave, you said you'd take care of Yoko and Sakiko. That was the deal. That's why I agreed to leave, but she told me everything. You've been leeching off of them for years now. How dare you?
What? Shut your mouth. How dare you talk to me like that?
Back then, I was just a kid. I didn't have much, but I loved them both very much. That's for certain. But you two make me sick. Leeching off of them like this. Shame on you. This all ends now. They deserve a fresh start. They're leaving. Is that okay, you two?
Of course. So we packed up all of our things and left. My grandparents flipped out, but we didn't care anymore. My dad, he owned this apartment in the city. He let us live in one of the rooms there for practically nothing. After we moved out, my grandparents started fighting a lot. Then one day, they got into this huge fight and fell down the stairs. They were both seriously injured. They called me and begged me to help out, but stay out of our lives. Goodbye. A few months later, they both ended up in a nursery home. It wasn't a very good one, but they had no choice now. They still called my mom from time to time, but she ignored them. Fast forward 20 years. I was still good friends with Mari. It still kind of felt weird that she was married to my dad, but it didn't matter anymore. We were all happy now, and that's all that mattered. Oh, and I met someone at work. We're getting married in a year or so, and Mom, she also met someone. I was really happy for her. Things were finally starting to look up for us. Anyways, it was a rough couple years, but glad everything worked out.
I'm a salesman working for a trading company. Our company has been successful among small and medium-sized companies recently, especially in the last few years. I was always at the top of the sales in the company. And there were high expectations for me even. I got the contract for Company A.
Good job, Kasataka. A man of ability is different. You should all learn from him.
Thank you. I think I'm living a pretty decent life now, considering the days back then when I used to be a delinquent.
By the way, Kasataka, are you ready for the next business meeting?
Of course I am. I'm leaving the documents to Yoshii for now. Right, Yoshii?
Yes!
This is my partner, a junior in his 4th year with the company. Let me check the documents.
Yes, here's what I have so far.
This is really confusing. Isn't this data out of date?
Well,
What?
you wanted me to use this data, Kasataka-san?
Huh? Did you say something?
No?
Unlike me, this guy isn't very efficient. He's not well educated, and from what I've heard, he didn't grow up well. I'm trying to take care of him until he becomes independent, but I don't know when that's gonna be. Ah, you're just a big talker, aren't you? Look, I've been in other industries, and I perform well there too. You can't use the mid-career thing as an excuse, okay?
Yes, I understand.
Anyway, if you slip up on this deal, it's not going to be pretty. The company's fate depends on it, so get it together. The next business partner, IZ Electric, is an electronics manufacturer that has made a name for itself in the past few years and is the focus of much attention in the industry. It is still a relatively new company, but it is rapidly expanding its market share due to its innovative design and high functionality. If we get the contract with IZ Electric, we'll be one step ahead of our rivals. After careful preparation, the day of the meeting finally arrived. Even I was a little nervous. Whew. Okay, let's go.
Yes!
Thank you very much for your time. I'm Kasataka of Manwa Corporation, and I'm here to discuss business with you today.
Kasataka-san, thank you for coming. Please go up to the 23rd floor.
After registering at the reception desk in the magnificent building, we took the elevator up to the top of the building. After a few minutes nervously waiting in the assigned room, here it comes. Thank you for taking the time to come all the way here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. My name is Kasataka of Manwa Corporation.
My name is Aizawa. I look forward to working with you today.
I was surprised when we exchanged business cards. The title says President and Representative Director.
Sorry, I made up the time, so I decided to join you on short notice. But please, relax your shoulders.
Yes. Thank you for your concern. The President himself? No, this must be a good sign. I told myself that and got myself together, even though I was puzzled by the President's sudden appearance. And then the business negotiations began. Based on the documents prepared by Yoshii, the conversation proceeded smoothly. Company A's products and ours are like paper lanterns and temple bells. They may look similar at first glance, but there is a world of difference in quality. If you use our products, we are confident that we can contribute to your company. I see.
Paper lanterns and temple bells.
Is there something that you're concerned about?
No, it's nothing. Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like to show you the documents that you have in your possession. I'm sorry, I can't read the print. It's rubbed out. What? I am so sorry. Hey, Yoshi!
No, I apologize.
Mistake at a crucial moment. Yoshi starts rummaging through his bag. What is this guy thinking? Give me your documents. You really are useless. I'm terribly sorry. Please, use this one. Thanks. Damn, it was going good, but Yoshi ruined it. The other party's expression was clearly tense. I tactfully follow up on Yoshi to break the ice. He's really a dullard. Maybe it's because he grew up poor with a single parent, but he really doesn't have a lick of common sense. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm so embarrassed. Huh? Small talk between us helped us to loosen the mood and ease my nerves a bit. I smile and get back to the subject. So let's get back on track. What? Suddenly, President Aizawa poured water on me. I was drenched in water and my face was soaked. I didn't understand. What are you doing?
I poured water on you. Did you prefer coffee?
You did that on purpose! This was the first time someone undermined me since I joined the workforce. I snapped completely and the saga of my delinquent days came out. What the hell did I do? Huh? What do you think you're doing just because you're the president?
Hey, Kasataka-san!
Yoshi, you shut up! Yoshi's timing is so bad it annoys me every time.
What you did. Put your hands on your chest and think about it.
I was provoked and I got even more fired up. Don't talk nonsense! I don't care if you're the boss or not. Apologize right now or I'll sue you!
Yes, be my guest.
Kasataka, please calm down.
President, I'm going to file a formal complaint on this matter. Yoshi, let's go!
Yes, my apologies.
I walk out of the building wiping my shirt and suit. I never thought this would happen. How awful.
Kasataka-san!
Shut up! Don't talk to me! When I returned to the office, my boss came running up to me in a panic. Seems he's already heard.
Kasataka! I just got a call directly from the president of the other company saying if Kasataka is here, we won't sign any contracts. What happened?
I don't understand. I was just having a normal business meeting. The president suddenly poured water on me.
What do you mean? Tell me the details.
I told him everything that had happened, and he believed me.
Well, that's puzzling. Why would a kind boss like that pour water on you? Anyway, I'll ask him for more details from this side too. Maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding.
Whatever the case may be, we shouldn't hang our company's fortune on a company with a top executive like that. I'm gonna sue him for assault because he told me to be free to do as I please.
Don't do anything extra. You won't be able to do your job being so worked up. Just go home today.
I understand. I don't care what my boss says. I'm not gonna let him get away with it. I went home searching poured water assault on my phone. The next day, when I came to work, my boss came to me with a red face.
How dare you do this? We're going to apologize.
Apologize? I'm the victim here!
President Aizawa is waiting. Hurry up!
Wait a second! I was handed a packaged gift for some reason and headed to the headquarters of IZ Electric with my boss. I was led to a different room than yesterday, the president's office. And when I entered, Aizawa was already there.
Thank you for yesterday.
My boss is going to apologize, but I have no intention of doing so. Because I think it's wrong to stay silent after being assaulted. What did I do?
You idiot, watch your mouth! I'm sorry for his insolence. It's okay. He was like that to begin with. Let me talk to Kasataka-san for a minute.
To begin with? You talk like you've known me from before. I don't know you.
Then, Kasataka-san, do you recall Why Cleaning Co.?
Cleaning company? What are you talking about?
It's always the person who hurt you who doesn't remember. No choice. I'll tell you the story from the beginning. That was over 10 years ago. At the time, I just left the workforce and started my current company. While running the business, I was working part-time as a building cleaner on the side, until the company got off the ground. It was just a part-time job, but I took a certain amount of pride and responsibility in it. But one time I was cleaning the restrooms on a company floor.
That damn boss, he pisses me off.
Excuse me,
Huh, look at you leisurely collecting garbage.
it's my job.
What a dirty job. If it were me, I'd be too embarrassed to live.
The irritated young man began to look down and make fun of me. I suppose I could have laughed it off. I was still too young to tolerate crookedness, so I gave him a little rebuttal, hoping he would correct himself. It's more embarrassing to say rude things to people I've never met before.
What?
And the man splashed water on my head. It was a bucket of water that had been used to wash the mop after cleaning. I was soaked all over with dirty water. What are you doing?
What part of me is embarrassing, huh? I'm a full-time elite employee, and you're a part-time dirty janitor. Just like paper lanterns and temple bells. Bottom feeder like you don't deserve to talk back to me. Look, it got dirty. You better clean that up. How long are you in there? Let's go, Kasataka. Yes.
Kasataka. Ever since that day, this man called Kasataka cursed at me, the janitor, relieving his stress on me. I could have told the higher-ups, but I didn't want to cause problems and lose my job. So I had no choice but to put up with it. After a while, the man must have changed jobs since I didn't see him around. And eventually, I quit my part-time job as the company became more stable. Time passed, and now we've met again. This time in different positions.
You don't mean from that time?
No way! I see you finally remember. I didn't recognize you as a young man from back then at first.
But that was a long time ago!
You're right, it was a long time ago. If you had reformed and changed, I would have changed my mind. But seeing the way you insulted Yoshi-san yesterday, I was convinced. Nothing has changed since then. And you still choose people and look down on them.
I'm sorry!
I will not change my policy, even if someone like you apologizes to me now. If you want to sue me, please go ahead. I will just disclose what was done to me by you in a fair and honest manner. I will never sign a contract with a company with someone like you. That's all.
No! The boss persisted, but he wouldn't listen, and we left the building.
Enough! Don't say anything.
When I got back to the office, my boss told my superiors the whole story, and I was removed from the case. Even though it's something from the past, it's a huge loss for the company that a big deal got scrapped. I was assigned to miscellaneous work for the time being because they wouldn't let me do any other sales work for a while. At first, I was frustrated. Why me? But I realized the gravity of the situation as I watched my colleagues in the corner of the office being forced to deal with the situation because of my blunder. Reputation is vital in this industry. If bad publicity gets out from IZ Electric, who are the hot topic of the industry, it'll have some effect on contract with other companies. And a few days later...
About the other day, our reputation is going down not just with IZ Electric, but with others as well. I looked into it, and it seems like you've been behaving badly in various places. I'm sorry, but you reap what you sow. Your presence here alone is a problem for us. I'm begging you, just quit.
I understand. I was finally fired from my job. After that, I couldn't quite find another job, so I had to go back to my parents' house. I was told by my parents, we can't support a shut-in, at least get a part-time job. And I was introduced to a part-time cleaning job. When I started, I realized that it was a very hard and grueling job. I was scolded by my seniors while cleaning the floors and toilets of the building every day.
How long are you taking? Faster!
I'm sorry. I finally understand. I've been a stuck-up person all this time. If I could go back in time, I I would have never behaved like that. But even if I regret it now, I can't go back to the life I had before. Tears in my eyes welled up as I scraped the gum stuck on the floor.
I'm Kasuke Nakajima. I work at this factory in the countryside. I packed finished products into cardboard boxes. It was a pretty boring job, to be honest. But then one weekend, something happened. It was a Saturday. There was a big storm headed our way. I went to a nearby hardware store to get some supplies just in case. Oh, is that... It was this woman I worked with. Her name was Suji. Why is she riding her bike in the rain? Hey, Suji, it's me, Nakajima. We work together. It's pouring out. You should call a cab or something.
I don't have anyone I can ask. I'll be fine.
She said really quietly. She always talked like this at work, too. The rain was getting stronger. I couldn't just leave her here. The storm is only gonna get stronger. I'll drive you home. Just leave your bike here. We'll come back for it tomorrow.
But I don't want to be a bother.
Turns out she lived near my apartment. She said it was fine, but I insisted. Finally, she thanked me and got in my car. She thanked me over and over again on her way out. The next day, I picked her up and drove her to the hardware store. But...
Looks like someone stole it. It's gone.
What? This is all my fault. I'm really sorry.
Oh, you were only trying to help.
I could have just gotten her a new bike, but... Hey, wanna commute to work together from now on?
Huh?
We work together and you live across the street from me, so... I'm not sure why I said that, but... I guess I wanted to spend some more time with her. She paused for a second, then she nodded her head. So we started commuting to work together. I drove her home whenever I could. We talked about all kinds of things in the car. She was 2 years older than me. We were both an only child, and she liked to read on the weekends. But my colleagues, they started making fun of me for spending so much time with her. Nakajima, what you seeing her? She barely speaks. We're not dating or anything, we're just commuting together, that's all. I heard she brings you bad luck. Just be careful. Bad luck? What does that even mean? I wanted to say something, but I didn't want any trouble. You see, the thing is, I was here against my will. I used to work at headquarters, but I got a demotion. I was pretty good at my job, too. I even had a girlfriend. But then, she cheated on me with my boss. I couldn't believe it. Hey, what the hell is this? Why are you cheating on me with my boss? How could you? My friend sent me a picture of them walking into a hotel together.
Relax. It was only a one-time thing. He's getting promoted soon, you know?
So what? He's married.
Exactly.
Huh? What do you mean?
Now I got dirt on him. He'll never be able to say no to me.
Seriously? I always knew she was a go-getter. That's what I liked about her, but there are certain lines you don't cross. I knew I had to end it with her. I want to break up. I can't be with you anymore.
Fine, but if you're thinking about telling others about us, don't even think about it.
Then, about a month later, I got transferred to this factory in the middle of nowhere. This all happened about a year ago. I was upset at first, but I didn't even care anymore. I hated working here, but this was my life now, so... My boss kept making fun of me for hanging out with her, but I ignored him. Suji didn't talk much, but she was slowly starting to let me in. Soon she started coming over to my house to cook for me and stuff. Then, about a few months later, I asked her out. Suji, will you go out with me?
But I'm no fun. And like they say, I bring people bad luck.
Stop being ridiculous. I got sent here from headquarters, so it really can't get any worse for me. She thought about it for a second, then she smiled at me and said,
All right then.
So we started dating. We went to all kinds of places on the weekends. It was a pretty big city, but we checked out most of the famous spots in the area. We were getting really close too. Then one day, she told me why people said she brings bad luck. It was because of her past.
When I was a kid, my parents ran away somewhere, and I grew up with my grandparents.
But then her grandparents both got sick soon after that, so she had to go live with her other relative. But then...
They got sick too for some reason. That's when everyone started saying that I bring bad luck.
After graduating high school, she left her hometown and moved to the city to start fresh. When she was with me, she smiled a lot, but she still didn't say much. Sometimes she stared off into space, looking sad. I don't think she was over her past yet. I wanted to make her smile more, but nothing was working. I didn't know what to do, so one day, I asked her, Hey, Ayaka, do you really like me?
Huh?
Like, do you want to stop doing this?
Huh?
Sorry, that came out wrong. I was just...
Oh, I'm sorry too. I know I'm awkward.
Things got kinda awkward, so she headed home for the night. Crap, I'm such an idiot. I better apologize to her. It's her birthday next week. I hope I can patch things up by then. I texted her and apologized. I told her I was looking forward to her birthday next week. Her birthday was on December 29th. We went out to the city during the day. At night, we went to her house for dinner. It was a bit awkward at first, but things went better than I expected. We ate some fried chicken and drank some wine. She was a lightweight, so she fell asleep. Better not wake her up. Oh, what's that? On my way back from the bathroom, I found her diary on her desk. I wonder how she feels about me. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't resist. I had to know how she felt about me. Slowly, I turned the page.
December 28th. It's my birthday party today. Can't wait, but I'm kinda nervous.
Interesting.
December 27th. Things between us are kinda awkward. December 26th. Kosuke drove me to work in the morning. Hope he saw me smiling. November 30th. Went on vacation with Kosuke for the first time. I'm loving it. November 11th. Kosuke's favorite food is fried chicken. I want to make him the best fried chicken in the world. October 15th. He asked me out. This is the best day of my life.
She loves me. She really loves me. She writes about me every day. I'm such an idiot. A few minutes later, Ayaka woke up.
Sorry, I fell asleep.
Ayaka, I'm so sorry.
Huh? Why are you apologizing to me? Stop.
Ayaka, I'm sorry. I read your diary while you were asleep. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't resist.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm such an idiot.
It's okay. This is my fault too. I'm not very good at showing my emotions. I'm just always so scared and nervous too. I'm always thinking, what if someone gets sick or hurt because of me, you know?
She's been through so much as a kid. She was just having trouble showing her emotions. How did I not see that? I'm such an idiot. Ayaka, I love you. I love you so much. Come here.
Kosuke.
I hugged her as hard as I could. She started crying.
I'm glad I kept the diary.
Yeah, glad I took a peep. I know it was wrong, but...
No worries, I don't mind. You can read the rest of it if you want.
So we started looking back at her diary to reminisce, but Wait, you used to work at headquarters too? You know Tsuchiya?
Yeah, you know her?
Yeah. The thing is, I told her that we used to date.
She was always like that, doing anything to get what she wants.
I guess she hasn't changed a bit.
The thing is, I got transferred here because of the manager too.
Turns out my boss used to harass her.
I could never stand up for myself, so I was an easy target for him.
One day he asked her to be with him, but she refused. A few days later, she got transferred to this factory. I had no idea. That asshole.
He was always touching me and stuff. It grossed me out. I wrote it all down too, hoping it might come in handy someday.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I looked over her diary again. It was all there. This just might work. Ayaka, let's get him back. But I need your help.
Get him back? How?
We're gonna expose him, using this.
You sure? I don't know. I'm scared.
Don't worry, I'll protect you, no matter what happens. And the thing is, the day I broke up with my ex, I recorded our conversation. With my recording and her diary, we had more than enough to put those two away for good. We gotta stand up for ourselves. Come on, time to strike back.
Kosuke?
She thought for a second, then she nodded her head. The next day, I contacted the HR department and told them everything that happened. I sent them the recording and a copy of Ayaka's diary entries. They started looking into it right away. A few days later, the higher-ups called my old boss for a talk. It wasn't looking good for him. Then Ayaka called her former colleagues.
I asked my friends if any of them went through the same thing.
Turns out, Ayaka wasn't the only one. He was doing this to dozens of women in the workplace. Then, they all submitted a formal complaint to the HR department. They started digging even deeper in the process. They also found out that he was stealing money from the company. He ended up getting fired. I just got a call. The company is suing him.
I see. He's done for.
Yeah, sucks for him, but good riddance. As for my ex, she didn't get fired, but she got transformed to some dead-end position. A few months later, she left the company. She was the proud type, so I guess she couldn't take it anymore. And the good news kept coming. The guy from HR, he asked me if I wanted to come back to headquarters. Ayaka, they said, I can come back. Will you come with me? Please, I can't live without you.
Huh? You mean...
Yes, I can't imagine my life without you. Please marry me.
Kosuke, of course. I'm so happy.
6 months later, we got married. After that, she quit her job and became a full-time housewife. It was so good to be back. I worked hard day and night. Things were finally starting to look up for me. I miss this. This is where I belong. As for my old boss, his wife left him and took the kids with her. He lost everything. I heard Reiko was working as a hostess now. My friend found out where she was working and asked me if I wanted to go there just for fun. But I said no. I didn't want anything to do with her anymore.
I made your favorite dish tonight.
Ah,
What is it?
nothing. I'm just so happy.
Oh, you.
It was a rough couple of months, but I'm glad everything worked out.
Please, let me live with her. Please! I am Kayoko Tamura. I was apologizing to my own mother on my knees. I was raised by this single mother. My father left early after I was born. My mother raised me on her own, despite only having a middle school diploma working in a factory. Keep your curfew. Don't associate with bad people. She was strict and nagging about everything. I was fed up with living in poverty and my mother's persistence, so I ran away from home after graduating from high school. I moved in with a boyfriend I was dating at the time. And when I was 19, I got pregnant. I officially got engaged with him, rented an apartment, and the three of us moved in with Momoka, who was born. But because of his tardiness and laziness, my husband couldn't keep any of his jobs. I also looked for a job, but I couldn't find daycare, and there were no jobs where I could take my child to work, and life got harder and harder. Eventually, we began to fight constantly, and my husband finally stopped coming home. When the refrigerator was empty and I could no longer breastfeed, I decided to turn to my own mother out of shame. I know this is wrong of me, and I was an idiot, but please, please forgive me. Can you at least give this child a place to live, please? I was prepared to be reprimanded, of course, but look up. No more apologies. After you left, I did some reflecting. I was too hard on you. I know that now, and I'm really sorry. No, I just had a baby and I realized that you were hard on me because you cared about me. From now on, let's raise this child together. Welcome home, Kyoko. Thank you, Mom. I'm so sorry. I wept as I realized my mother's deep love for me. My mother had become nicer, like she was a different person, smiling not only at me, but also at my daughter Momoka. She helped me divorce my husband, arranged for a lawyer, and got child support. I then decided to leave Momoka at a daycare and started working full-time. My mother got a part-time job as well and took care of Momoka. By the time Momoka was 2 years old, our life was completely stable. Oh, Momoka, did you spill?
I'm sorry. I was looking away.
It's okay. Just be careful next time. Come on, take off your wet skirt, you'll catch a cold.
Yeah!
She used to be so much scarier. Mom is so much nicer now. My mother is always so calm with Momoka, even when I'm about to get angry. Thanks to that, Momoka seems to love my mother too. I'm glad I came back to my parents' house. With my mom, I can raise Momoka well. But those peaceful days began to fall apart as Momoka grew up. Momoka, what have you been doing? It's almost 10 o'clock. Shut up! Leave me alone! Momoka, we're worried about you. You don't have to worry. Momoka started coming home late after middle school. Her grades dropped and she even dyed her hair blonde. When I tried to warn her, she was defiant and wouldn't listen to me at all. When I contacted her homeroom teacher, it seems she was made fun of for coming from a single mother. Because of that, she tended to skip classes and started hanging out with delinquents. Oh, what should I do? It's just a phase. Let's not blame her. But you'll only make things worse if you get involved too much. I learned my lesson the hard way with you. Yeah, but at least she comes home. She hasn't gotten into any fights or shoplifted or anything. Let's trust Momoka and watch over her. Yeah, okay. I kept in touch with her homeroom teacher, who told me that Momoka, although she's not a good student, goes to school every day and stays in school. I'll have to talk to Momoka again when she gets back. One day when I was thinking like that, Momoka, you were home? What are you doing? In her hand was money she must have taken out of the cupboard. What are you going to do with that money? Give it back! It's fine, it's just a little bit. Of course not! I won't allow you to steal money without my permission. When we were arguing, my mother came into the living room. When I told her Momoka was trying to steal the money, she calmly sat Momoka down on the sofa and said, "You have a reason, don't you? Why don't you tell us?" You needed the money for a reason, didn't you? Is that so? Momoka, tell us why. I don't have time to talk. Are you involved in something bad? Momoka has never stolen money in her life. Grandma believes Momoka is not a bad girl. Momoka, talk to me. We can help you. Hey, please. Momoka looked at me and my mother and told us what happened as if she gave up. Apparently, Momoka's friend, who is a boy, was beaten and taken away by a high school student for being rebellious. They said, "Bring us some money if you want your friend back." I don't know what they'll do if I don't bring it. It's fine, right? I have to go. Please, please lend me this money. I was speechless at the ridiculousness of the situation, but my mother was calm. Thank you for telling us. If that's the case, we'll talk to the police right away. Yes, the police. No, if I call the police, they'll get back at me. The bossy high school kid says he's the brother of the leader of the Dora something. They're a motorcycle gang that runs this area. If they catch me doing that, I don't know what they'll do to me. I see. That makes things complicated. Okay, I have an idea. I'll take care of it. What? Mom? Take Grandma to the meeting spot. No, I can't put you in danger, Grandma. Yes, first we need to call the police. Don't worry. Grandma will take care of it no matter what. I was puzzled by my mother's statement, but Momoka was impatient, saying that it was almost time. So we decided to go to the meeting place. At the entrance of the park, Momoka's friends were gathered.
Momoka, did you bring money?
I only have this. Wait, did you bring your parents? What can this old lady and woman do?
Back off, kids. Without hesitation, my mother headed towards the high school students who were hanging around. I followed her, ready to call the police at any moment.
Oh, there you are! Did you bring the money? It's 500,000 yen. What are you guys, guardians?
It's my mom and grandma.
What the hell are you doing bringing these old geezers here? You gonna pay for your daughter? We don't care, as long as you're willing to pay up.
High school kids surrounded me and my mother, smirking. Pitifully, my knees are shaking and I can't speak up. But in contrast to my dismay, my mother had a fearless smile on her face. Are you prepared to pay for scaring my lovely granddaughter?
Huh? What's with this old lady? Are you trying to defy us?
No, I'm just trying to educate a couple of arrogant kids.
Stop getting ahead of yourself, you old hag!
Mom, watch out! What?
What is this old lady?
That's all you've got, huh? Looks like young kids these days need more training. No way! Grandma, that was amazing! How? You see, I used to be the leader of a women's club called Dorami-chan. What? Oh, it looks like they're here. Hey, over here. Sorry for calling you. When I looked towards my mother's eyesight, wait, gang clothes? All these spirited people. Miss, we're here to help.
Is that them? Today's opponent? My arm's gonna be ringing.
Mom, who are these guys? old friends. I called them before I came here. All of these people with one call? Sorry, everyone. I know you're busy. My granddaughter and her friends got into some trouble with these guys. And apparently one of them is the brother of the leader of the Dormian.
What? The current leader doesn't have a brother!
I knew it. Who do you think you guys are? Guys, can't you teach these guys some real guts?
All right, miss.
You better learn something! Who are these guys? This is the former president of Doraemon? And there's also the former gang leader of Dorami-chan! You gotta be kidding! We're no match for them! Run!
The high school kids scatter in a blink of an eye. Only the leader guide was left behind saying, "Don't you dare run away," as he was left behind.
Here you go, miss. I brought the policeman.
Oh, Okuma, that's very helpful. Thank you. When the men appeared with the policeman, even the boss ran away thinking it was trouble. But in no time at all, they were secured. Eventually, they were all caught, including those who ran away. And with the testimony of Momoka and the boy who was being held captive, the high school students were taken to the police station. Thank you, Grandma, and I'm so sorry.
You've been a big help. Thank you so much. Thank you!
If you learn from this, you'd better stop misbehaving. If you live earnestly, you wouldn't get tangled up with people like that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, good. I'm so glad you all made it. You can't say no when it's a request from the miss. Thank you all so much. No problem. By the way, Miss Raiko, you're so much calmer now.
Right. She's totally different from when she was in charge.
We all get like this when we get old. Was my mother really that great?
Yeah, of course!
She's a legendary leader!
Raika-san was the one who started the Dorami-chan. What? Is that so? Hey, stop it. That was a long time ago.
Reiko-san was the one who united all the bad guys who were doing whatever they wanted and made sure they didn't blow up.
Raika-san, she's unbeatable in a fight, but she's also very kind.
And she cares for her friends.
That's why we all love her so much.
I see. I was proud of my mother, who was loved by many. After that, we parted ways with everyone who came with us, and we headed back home. Well, after scaring them that much, those high school students will never go near Momoka and the others again. Momoka, from now on, you have to come home after school. Okay. Don't make me worry. I believe you're a good girl, Momoka. Yeah. Anyway, I was surprised to know about your younger days. Well, I was going through a lot in my life. I was in a gang with only a junior high diploma and had a hard time after that, so I didn't want you to go down the same path. I see. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I thought it would be embarrassing if you knew your mother was a delinquent. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Besides, you've got such great people around you. Yes, I accept my mistakes as mistakes, but I'm not ashamed of them. I want you to be like that too. Keep looking forward to the future. Yeah. Mom? Thank you so much for being my mother. Oh, what are you talking about? You're making me blush. After that, Momoka seemed to have changed her mind, dyed her hair back to black, and started taking her classes seriously. Her friends who had been hanging out with her also reflected deeply on what they had done after this scary experience. The homeroom teacher told me that everyone changed their minds and began to take middle school life seriously. I'm relieved Momoka's back to being a good girl. I won't make you worry anymore. When I grow up, I'm gonna be a cool woman who can protect my family like Grandma. That's a great goal. I'm rooting for you. Yeah! As Momoka's parent, I also have to be diligent. And I also want to show filial piety to my mom, who's always been so kind to me. I'll keep working hard and raise my child.